So I'm going to focus on our food, on the soil. So I'm thinking, like just when Ken was talking, I'm thinking about soil health and human health. I think they are linked. It's the same. Soil health makes your plant growth sustainable and avocado production sustainable. And the same, if your health, you live longer and everything is good. So the CDFA, if you don't know the CDFA, I'm going to mention not. It's a California Department of Food and Agriculture. So we have a healthy soils program. It's like it's a program that provides you financial incentives to allow you, to help you to go to gym, to exercise, to improve your health. So that's the way we're working to improve your soil health. This is a new program, so we just started last fall. I was wondering how many do you know the Healthy Soils program? Oh, great. How many have you applied? None? So just to mention that we had this program had two solicitations. The first one is last fall, it's August, September 2017. We received, we selected 64 applications to award. This year is start from March 6 to April 13. We've selected 33 projects to fund for this program. So right now, this program, the application is closed, but we will wait till like June, July to know if we have more money come out, and we will open for application again. So keep an eye on it. So I'm going to talk about what's soil health and what methods you can improve your soil health, and how can this Healthy Soils program can help you financially. So why soil health matters? So we're growing avocado, and the health soils helps to promote health root systems. If you look at the picture on the left side, the tree roots are brighter and they're spread it all over the ground, so it's very healthy. It can uptake water and nutrients from where the root distribute. So the more healthy the root system, the more water and nutrients the plants can take up, and the trees are more resistant to pest and disease pressure. And you get better shoot growth and higher yield. So the function of soil, I think I'm just going to repeat. I know everybody knows what's the function of a soil. So first, it provides physical stability and support and regulate water through control infiltration and water retention and cycling nutrients. Because you apply nutrients to the soil, the plants take up, and the plant residue left on the soil, and the nutrient from the residue release and go to the cycle again. And also, soil helps filter and buffer potential pollutants and sustain plants and animal life and human lives. So soil health, the definition for soil health is the continued capacity of a soil to function as a vital living ecosystem that sustains plants, animals, and humans. So we don't see, if you don't use a microscope, you can see earthworms and termites, but most of the soil organisms we don't see with naked eyes. Like an estimate of 25% of all living species are in the soil. And a square meter of soil contains millions of individual organisms and millions of species. A myriad of living organisms not visible with naked eyes are divided into three big categories: the microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and the nematodes, the mesofauna, and archaea and the springtails, and the macrofauna, earthworms, and termites. So 90% of the soil function is attributed to soil microbes. And for those, the microorganisms, the soil bacteria and the fungi are the most important to break down the soil organic matter and release nutrients to the plants. So this is the ideal condition, physical condition of a soil, of a healthy soil. By volume, 50% is the solids, like 45% is the mineral, 5% is the soil organic matter. OM stands for organic matter. And the other 15% is just the water and the air flow in the soil. So the volume of those two changes, it depends on how much water in the soil. And I want to mention here, soil organic matter only is 5% of the soil volume, but it's the key to soil health. And the composition of soil organic matter, 33 to 50% is decomposing organic matter or active fractions. That's the most important to the plant health and the soil health. And the other 33 to 50% is the stable organic matter, it's humus. Those are the sponges in the soil, helps to improve the water holding capacity. And less than 10% is fraction residue, and less than 5% is the living organisms in the soil. And that's the key, that's the goal of your soil health. Just a little bit about the importance of soil organic matter, because it provides for the living soil food, water, shelter, air. So if you improve your soil organic matter content, you improve your soil structure. The soil organic matter, like a glue, they glue the soil particles, the mineral parts, like you build a house. The mineral part is the brick, and you have brick, but you need to have some glue to put the bricks to make the shape of the house you like. Organic matter is the glue to make the house for the plant roots, for the living organisms in the soil. And when the soil has a good structure, it improves the water drainage and improve the room. There's more room for water to hold in the soil, so improve water holding capacity, also increase water infiltration and retention. And the plant roots have more room to grow, and it can go wherever it wants. The chemical component of soil, importance of soil organic matter, it helps to increase soil cation exchange capacity, and also helps to buffer the soil pH. So when your soil has more organic matter content, and the pH, even like you have salinity problems, but you can realize it damages the plant's roots slowly, not dramatically. So you can come back to provide remedies to help improve and to change your soil pH, and this will help you to buffer the pH changes in the soil. And also organic matter itself is adding nutrients to your soil. The biological importance of a soil organic matter increases, stimulates a soil biological diversity and activity and nutrient release, and also lower pests and disease damages to the crop. There are four principles proposed by USDA Natural Resource Conservation Services. The first principle is keeping living roots in the soil throughout the year, which feed the bacteria, the fungi in the soil, make your soil more healthy. And because the plant roots exudates they stimulate and feed the soil biology. The second principle is maximizing soil diversity through plant diversity. It's like we eat different food to diversify. We don't eat only cereal every day. It's boring. Not the taste, but the health. The same for the soil, for the soil microorganisms. So crop rotation, I know it's not easy for avocado, but it's easy if you can. The picture on the right side, you can plant legumes into the avocado trees, and also grow the middle picture has a mixture of grass, legume, broadleaf. Like you can mix any species and grow under the tree. So the maximizing soil diversity through plant diversity, because diversifying soil organisms reduce soil pests. The third principle is to minimize soil disturbance. This can be done using conservation tillage, which no-till, strip-till, and the reduced tillage. For all these, they maintain the living root systems in the soil and keep the soil organic matter, and also increase soil aggregate stability and structure, reduce soil erosion. The last one is keep the soil covered. This could be using mulching residue to cover the soil. This help. Also, you can use the living plants like the figure on the right side. That's the cover crops you can plant in the winter, which covers the soil. So for this mulch, the covering the soil can retaining nutrients and organic matter to the soil and improve water infiltration, especially during the rainy season. If the soil is bare and first the soil is covered, you will see more water will go into the soil, not run away. And also it regulates soil temperature and conserves soil moisture in the summer. So the CDFA Healthy Soils Initiative and the Healthy Soils Program, this is an actions of the actions of the Healthy Soils Initiative is interagency and state federal partnerships in the last 2-3 years. So the purpose is to protect and restore soil organic matter on California soils, identify sustainable and integrated financial opportunities to facilitate healthy soils, provide for research, education, and technical support to facilitate healthy soils, and also increase governmental efficiency to enhance soil health on public and private land, and promote interagency coordination and collaboration to support soil health and state goals. This picture just shows how many state agencies worked together in the last 2 years. And also we have USDA and NRCS work with us as well, so it's a state federal effort. The Healthy Soils Program, so I'm going to say HSP, the 3 initiative. The objective of the program is to build soil carbon and reduce agricultural greenhouse gas emissions through incentives. So last year, we received $7.5 million in fiscal 2016-2017, and administrated a new incentives and demonstration program on CDFA Healthy Soils Incentives for the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund. So there are 2 types of components for the HSP. The first is incentives program. We proposed $3.75 million to help farmers do on-farm implementation of conservation management to improve soil health. And the second component is demonstration projects. We provide $3 million to universities, nonprofit organizations to implement and outreach to other farmers and ranchers how to do the implementation. So for the Health Soils Incentives Program, all California farmers and ranchers are eligible, and also we include Native American Indian tribes. So for this program, so if you apply, we have a cap, that's $50,000 maximum you can apply for this program per application. And we have a standard payment rate. And we have, so once your project is awarded, you can start to implement any of the practices in the program, and we will do verification and we'll pay you after you implement the practice. So it's a reimbursement method. And so because the money we just talked about is 3.5 million total, 7.5 million total, it's coming from the GGRF fund. And so the grants or the program will cover the cost in year 1 and year 2, and year 3 will be covered by awardee as cost share, because the money has to be liquidated by June 30, 2020. For HSP demonstration projects, the eligible applicants are nonprofit, university cooperative extension services, federal, university experimental stations, Native American Indian tribes, and also growers. They can apply for this project in partnership with resource conservation districts or one of the aforementioned entity. So for demonstration projects, we have 2 types. The first type, type A, we require more science. Like if the applicants want to do a type A project, they have to measure on-farm greenhouse gas emission from implement those practices. And besides implementing those practices, and they will also conduct outreach events. For type B, applicants just need to do implementation and also outreach other farmers and ranchers. So there are differences of the funding cap for type A and the type B, because type A is more costly. So for outreach, awarded projects will have to invite 40 different individual growers or ranchers per year to the site to showcase and share the information on practice implementation. So the same for the funding in year 1, the year 2, the year 3 will be cost share. That's the practice in the program you can do on your farm. You can implement those, and we will help you to do those health practices. So the soil management practice. There are two types. The first is cropland management practices, cover crop, mulching, residue and tillage management, no-till and reduced tillage. These are all NRCS practice standards, so any awardees will have to follow the practice requirements when they select to implement those practices. And compost application is developed by CDFA. So we have a compost application white paper. So who want to do compost application will need to follow the requirements in the compost application white paper. So we have 3 categories: compost application to any crops, to perennials, trees, vineyards, and also to grassland. The second big category of the program practices is the herbaceous cover planting practices. So they are all NRCS practices: herbaceous wind barrier, vegetative barrier, riparian herbaceous cover, contour buffer strip, field border, and field strip. The third big category is woody planting practices. This include windbreak shelter belt establishment, riparian forest buffer and hedgerow planting. For grassland or rangeland, you can do silvopasture. Because this money, the dollar, is from greenhouse gas reduction fund. So when people apply for the program, they also need to estimate how much greenhouse reduction is achieved through implementation of the practices in the project. We have two very user-friendly models to help you to estimate greenhouse gas reduction from implementation of each practice. So you just, the first one is a common planner, and the second one is a compost planner. So it depends on which practice you select. You just need to enter the acres of each practice and to identify the location, the county location, and click on print, and the model would outprint in a second how much greenhouse gas reduction you can achieve through implementation of the practice you selected. So just to get a little bit more for the soil management practices in the program, we have talked about how do they help to improve soil health. So cover crop, the definition is from NRC's Conservation Practices Standard. It says you can use grass, legumes, forbs for seasonal cover and other conservation purpose. So here I listed 3 examples. The first one is a pure legume mixture. The middle one is you can mixture legume versus grass, legume non-legume mixture, and the third one is a grass and planted under the tree. The purpose or benefits of cover crops is reduce soil erosion, build and improve soil fertility and health, and suppress weeds, also control disease and pests. This is just an example show you what the benefits cover crop can provide. So we know only on the surface, but what you don't know is underneath the surface in the soil. The plant roots are connected with each other. So the example on the left side, there's a legumes plant and there's grass plant. The roots connected with each other. So legume plants fix nitrogen. So whenever you plant beans, like soybeans, you don't need to apply nitrogen. But if you have legume crops in the fields where you have other crops that you have to fertilize, you probably need to cut off some of the fertilizer because the roots connect each other and legumes can supply nitrogen to the grass. We did there's a lot of scientific evidence and also economic evidence showing that. The second is the arbuscular microfungi. They bridges cover crop to the subsequent crop. So the picture shows once the cover crop die, the roots or the AM fungi connected the subsequent crop. So the subsequent crop, the root system is elongated first because the cover crop helped them, the roots, to make the roots longer so it can get more water and the nutrients of the cover crop planted. Sorry. So the field. So if you grow cover crops in the field and you don't till, and then you plant your cash crops, and your cash crop will be more healthy because the roots is extended, elongated from the benefit from the cover crop to get more nutrients and water. Mulching is another practice in the soil management practice. So by definition, it's applying plant residue to all the natural materials produced off-site to the land surface. We had, I remember we actually funded one avocado grower from the second solicitation by implementation of mulching. So the benefits of mulching your soil surface, it can conserve soil moisture, reduce erosion, suppress weeds, regulate soil temperature, and improve soil health. No-till, so no-till is like I think it may be really easy for tree growers. Like for annual crops, it could be sometimes difficult, but for trees, you don't have to till your fields very often. So you can do no-till or reduce the tillage, so which means you don't till the soil, make the soil the residue on the surface. And the benefits is you reduce soil erosion and dust, you reduce energy use and greenhouse gas emissions, and also improve soil organic matter content, increase plant available moisture, and improve soil structure. And reduce the tillage is very similar to no-till, except the last part is like the field surface will be tilled prior to planting, so it's minimized. Tillage is minimized. The benefits of reduced tillage is the same as no-till. Compost application, the left side picture shows compost application in the orchard and in the rangeland. It's like actually when you apply compost, it has carbon, it has nitrogen in the soil and other minerals, so you just apply a different type of fertilizer to your crops. This is just the requirements for this program. How much? So for these three categories, for annual crop, tree, perennial, and pasture land, we have divided compost source into two categories. One is high nitrogen, the other is low nitrogen. The high nitrogen the compost has a carbon nitrogen ratio less than 11, the low nitrogen carbon nitrogen ratio greater than 11. So based on the nitrogen content, the program can find the application rate is listed on the right side for different type of crop land. Just to emphasize for this program, if you purchase compost, the compost has to be from certified composting facilities. That's the one requirement for this program. This just to show the payment rate we used for the last two applications. It's a per acre basis. So for cover crop, it's $123.82 per acre, and mulching $376, no-till $29, reduced tillage $31, and compost application is based on dry tons, so $35 per dry tons. So if you have 10 acres and you're going to apply 5 tons per acre, so it's 50. So 50 multiplied 35. That's the dollar amount you can apply for each year. Just to tell you what we have done in the past two solicitations. So the program is an application. First, you submit your application to CDFA, and then we do technical review administrative review and technical review, and then if your project is scored 60 points, and then we will notice you, tell you your project, your application is selected for fund, and then we go through the grant agreement. And so it's a competitive application process. Just to show you what's the technical review. So technical review is conducted by university experts or former advisors. We have 100 points, so I said 6 points, you can get awarded. And so project feasibility, you need to provide us a map to show which field and you're going to implement which practice. And also we have a budget worksheet for you to fill in, enter the acres, application rate, and it's automatically calculate how much money you can apply for this program, you can get for this program. And greenhouse project sustainability, we just want you to tell us, why do you think it is like if you're doing cover crop, why do you think it's good for your farm? How it's sustainable to your farming business? And greenhouse gas reduction estimation, it's just 2 models, really simple. You enter your acres, and the model will automatically output the greenhouse gas reduction you can achieve through implement of the practice, and then you can save it and then submit your saved file. And soil health and environmental core benefits, just a little bit description. If you're doing mulching, you can tell us the mulching probably reduce soil water evaporation, so you can save soil moisture. You may reduce your water irrigation needs, like save water or reduce dust. I know lots of folks works with an analysis for conservation plan. So if they get a conservation plan, they get 10 points. If your field is located in disadvantaged communities, you get additional 10 points. And the additional consideration is for applicants who provide matching funds in the first 2 years. So total 100 points. So that's the project we funded last year, 51. So we have 64 projects were selected, but finally we have only 51 projects were good to go. So they are already implement those practices, and we actually, those recipients, awardees are receiving money, dollars, after they implement the practices. So started from January this year. So the total dollar what we're going to give is 1.4 million for like 51 projects located in 22 counties, and 1.6 million in year 3 cost sharing will be provided, and 1.6 million in matching funds were provided in year 1 and year 2. For demonstration projects, 22 projects were selected in 20 counties. 3.2 million will be funded to those 22 projects. About $2.5 million will be provided for matching funds. So if you look at the greenhouse gas reduction for all these funded 73 projects, is based on the model estimation. And so if you look at the figure, the location of the project, the yellow star are the project location, incentives project location, and the blue star are the demonstration project location. So for both these projects, total carbon dioxide, the greenhouse gas reduction fund as the carbon dioxide equivalent is 10,634 tons per year, and it equals to 10,780 passengers vehicles driving for 1 year. That much carbon dioxide emission. But the majority of the greenhouse gas reduction through this project, the program is achieved by compost application because of the higher acreage of compost application in the project. This just to show you, we did some statistics, like the applicants, about 41% of the applicants are located on small size farm, like less than 50 acres, and 19% of the applicants, the farm size is about 50 to 99 acres, and 21% of the applicants has a farm size range from 100 to 249 acres. The most popular management practices in the funded projects, compost application, 75 of the application has compost application, 60% of the application has cover crop, 21% of the applications has reduced tillage, and the hedgerow plantings as 27%. So 73% of the applications of the awarded projects implement more than one practices. So it's look at by acreage, compost application has 2,879 acres that will be going to apply on 46% of the total acreage in the project. In the program, cover crop is number 2, mulching is number 3, reduced tillage is number 4. So if our next funding is available, don't be afraid. We provide a lot of technical assistance during the application period. So CDFA, so we conduct workshops and webinars as well, and also we fund resource conservation districts and nonprofit organizations to help applicants to do the application, to work on the application. So about 32 in total for the first round workshops, and in 19 counties, we have 95 people in-person attendees and 101 remote attendees. And 149 people received individual assistance from technical assistance providers. So this is just a summary of the application period we just closed on April 13. So we received, so the total funding amount is 1.6. 1.1 million for incentives program, which for farmers. And the other 500,000 is for demonstration type B project. And the project duration is the same as the first solicitation. So year 3 cost sharing is required. So for the second solicitation, we actually ask those resource conservation districts, they provide technical assistance, and then they can help individual applicants. So if you call them, so when you post the contact information on our website, and you go to the website and find the phone number, the email address, you can contact them directly, and they will help you to do your application individually. They can help you on the computer or on the phone. So we pay them for doing that to help applicants to do the application. So now we are doing we're in the period of reviewing, and then we're going to announce our second solicitation project awardees in the coming few weeks. That's what we have received by April 13th. So 43 applications, total funding request is $1.15 million, and demonstration 11 applications, total funding is $957,000. So unfortunately, the second solicitation is closed. Was closed in April, but we hope we get more funding source. There's a potential funding, future funding, $10 million from SB California Drought, SB 5 California Drought, Water Parks, Climate Cost Protection, and Outdoor Access for All Action of 2018. And there's another $5 million from 2018-19 governor's budget proposal. So we'll wait till like June, July, and if we have those dollars, we will open for application pretty soon, probably in July or August. And also besides this, we are trying to expanding the suite of management practice in the program, so you have more choices to choose which is better for you. So we received the proposals in the end of November, December last year, 11 proposals, and listed 31 new practices for us to consider to be in the program. So we're now in the process of evaluating those proposals and try to include some. I don't think we can include all, but we will try to include as many as possible so that you have more choice when next application is open. That's our health soils program team, and yeah, you can contact us whenever you get questions. But my recommendation is go to those links, especially the one in the middle, CDFA Healthy Soils Program. Go to the website and click on the up right top. There's a window says subscribed email notification. So when next funding is open, you will receive email. If you subscribe for email receiving, you will get an email notification automatically, and you can apply for the program. So soil health is a partnership between among CDFA, academics, and nonprofit organizations, and we rely on you. You are the key to improve our soil health. That's a great question. Thank you for bringing this up. Yes, when the program, because I'm not sure for the when the next funding is available, I'm not sure if the requirement is the same, but the answer is yes for the first and the second solicitation, because the money is coming from GGR, the Greenhouse Reduction Fund. So if you are already doing mulching on the field, like if you have a field, 10 acre, only 10 acre fields, you're doing mulching in the 10 acre fields, the whole field, you are not eligible for the program. So if you have 10 acre but only 5 acre do the mulch in the past, you have another 5 acre, you haven't done mulching, you can do that 5 acre is eligible. Because the money from California Climate Investment, they want to see the addition of greenhouse reduction. Like what you are doing is good, it reduces greenhouse gas reduction, but we want additional. So this is the requirement is tied to the funding source.